In this video, I'll be analyzing David Granlund's political cartoon illustrated on August 22nd, 2025. Before diving into the cartoon itself, it's important to recognize the origin of this cartoon, the illustrator himself, and the current events surrounding the time period. So this man is named David Granlund, and the following information is a summary from his website. He was born in Ware, Massachusetts, and according to his website, he was always fascinated with drawing caricatures of his family and situations he found himself in. He went freelance at 16 years old for his local newspaper and eventually continued to illustrate in college. He joined the military during Vietnam and won some medals of honor for his service, but after that, his cartoons kind of turned him into a national marvel. He was hired full-time for Middlesex News as a cartoonist, and he currently still produces 5 to 7 cartoons per week. So I brought up August 22nd, 2025, and that's slightly more than 2 months ago. It's important to recognize that this is the age of automation, everything being replaced by AI and technological innovation without guardrails. And in The Guardian magazine, for example, AI is cited as the culprit of the job apocalypse, which basically means that it's taking over human employment. So let's take a look at this cartoon, and you can go ahead and pause to take a better look at it. One would assume some hard feelings about AI, given the polarization between the job of the cartoonist and, AI being able to replace manual labor. And let's begin with the people. I'm actually going to point out a lack thereof. So in the photo, robots with mechanical claws are doing the work of factory employees in the 80s or 90s. This portrays a surface level message that robots are taking over space for human employment. They are actively doing the jobs that humans would normally do, and this points out the obvious message that robots and automation are replacing human labor. And this is obvious given the context of the time period spoken about before. Then we have black humor. So at first glance, the fact that there's happy talking robots in the cartoon makes this image appear humorous because of the absurdity of the situation. But as you think more about it and its message, which is robots taking over human necessity, the image starts to evoke a bitter, hopeless mood in the viewer. Generally, with dark humor, people either take it with offense and entirely consider its seriousness, while others kind of tend to satirize the same bleak situation. It's also important to point out the conveyor belt. So this really goes to show the tiny quantity of work that robots have been automated to complete. A conveyor belt is used to transport objects automatically and used in these factory settings to make the lives of humans easier. This must mirror human codependency on technology, how it's gotten to a point where people will use AI to complete their own thoughts and analysis. Everything we think we can do it with AI, we now do in fact use it for, which is incredibly damaging because we lose ourselves in that dependency. Now let's shift our focus to the speech balloons. So the text within them is cheerfully saying Happy Labor Day and cheers to all the other robots in the image, but the text is instead spelled out by capital letters separated by dots, not actual words. So this goes to show how AI has completely taken away the soul from honest work. So you have people celebrating their work, celebrating Labor Day in particular, but what the artist is trying to get at is that it's ingenuine, it's cheating, like one soulless algorithm congratulating another for taking on the work of a lively human being. I'd also like to point out the black around these speech bubbles. So this color evokes a sense of impending doom in the viewer, and it's almost as if the black, which is present very rarely in the entire cartoon, is creeping up on the entire scene. Black usually represents dark periods of life and even death, so while the scene might display an area of productivity and problems solved, the artist could be saying that we're beginning to see the death of humanity and spirit. So as a result, yes, it's funny in some ways, and yes, it's cartoony, but it's something that Granlund clearly wants the viewer to take a second glance at and think, should I be laughing at this or should I be more concerned? The results of these elements is a cartoon that is meant to be a dark warning disguised as something sweet and simple. Thank you.